Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. I think I just made your man Big Roo real happy. Anytime I play some Public Enemy, I get my man Big Roo just kind of lose his mind a little bit, even though it don't take much for him to bug out.
Chuck D, baby.
Ain't no half stepping Marcus J. At this time, I want to go ahead and introduce a friend of the show on the live line, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, Miami Dolphins, Denver Broncos, and of last year's Super Bowl team, New England Patriots. We got Nate Jones on the live line with us. What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Thanks for joining us again. You joined us last fall when we first opened up the season. Now we towards the end of the season. We appreciate you coming back to join us here on Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J tonight.
Man, appreciate y'all having me out, man.
All right.
I'm sorry it took me so long to come back.
No, man, we appreciate it. Listen, we got a couple of things that we want to get into, and the first thing, I'm going to let your man Big Rube kind of set up for you because he's a little bit excited. There's a story that was set up that happened in New England. Actually, we're going to get Carlton Banks to set up for you. A story that happened in New England, team that you last played for. Carlton Banks, take it away, bro.
All right. We have Mrs. Wills Welker, wife of Wills Welker, goes on Facebook rant against Ray Lewis. Lashes out at Baltimore Ravens linebacker over his murder acquittal. Now, Anna Burns Welker went on an unprovoked attack against the Patriots, following the Patriots' 28-13 loss to the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. Basically, she says this: I'm proud of my husband and the Pats. By the way, if anyone is bored, please go to Ray Lewis' Wikipedia page. 6 kids, 4 wives, acquitted for murder, paid the family off. Yay, what a Hall of Famer player, a true role model. Does she have a horse in this race to really go off on somebody like that?
That's kind of...
I mean, really? Who is she? She's a former Miss Hooters. No disrespect to my girls at Hooters because we like Hooters wings. And I do frequent that location, even though they ain't paying us.
You need to stop saying that, man. They ain't paying us. What's
they ain't
wrong
paying
with
us,
you,
but
man?
you know, how former Miss Hooters is going to sit there and go off on that man like that? Really? What's her problem? Where'd she get off like that?
What you think, Nate?
Well, I mean, if y'all recall last year, after we lost the Super Bowl, we being the New England Patriots, I was there. You know, Tom Brady's wife was overheard saying some things. Also, Giselle in an elevator about receivers not catching passes, and so what we have here, we have this entitlement sense, I guess these wives get, and you know, I love my women, but I guess she's coming to the defense of her man because Wes Welker did drop a huge pass last year in the Super Bowl. He also dropped a huge pass in his last game. So her attack on Ray Lewis just shows how, I guess, they're starting to feel the pressure a little bit, I guess, in the household. But I'm shocked. In today's social media day, this age, everybody has a word now in this world. So, you know, that's I hate it, but she's way out of line. But I mean, I guess they'll be talking about this. This is my first time hearing about it, so I'm shocked. But wow.
Big Rube, what's your thoughts, man? Big Rube.
You know, my thing is, other than the Ravens beating, you know, the Pats, man, what Ray Lewis ever do to her? Number one, and then number two, I would like to address something different. If you on the page, it has the next person who had a comment talking about Ray Lewis should be in prison. What a waste of oxygen. Hold on. First of all, last time I checked, this dude got acquitted for murder. I could be wrong on that. But, you know, my thing is...
Well, he wasn't even charged. He wasn't charged.
Yeah. He was more or less the whistleblower.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so my thing is, who are these people to sit here and be like, well, you should be in jail? I mean, I guess these are the same people who are like, Michael Vick should be in jail for longer because he killed some dogs. So, I mean, I don't understand why. At least Giselle Bundchen was like, yo, man, you dropped the passes that my husband threw at you that were good. You know, she didn't attack the other team who won. Yeah. She attacked her own team.
Sylvia, what you think about this?
The Ray Lewis' wife,
Wes Welker's wife is attacking. Yeah.
Do Ray Lewis have a wife?
I don't know. I guess maybe
He got a girl.
I don't know.
He need to get his girl to go tap her ass. Excuse my French. Ass. Tap that.
Go ahead.
You want to talk? He can't do nothing about it. He can't control what happened.
Right.
But I think Ray need to be like, hey, yo, baby. You know what I'm saying? I can't do nothing to her. So I think she need to just roll up on her.
But
But I do have a question
Maybe she
for.
won't say nothing now.
Hey Nate,
Yeah.
how do you think this could affect the money situation for Wes Welker, knowing that you got a stupid wife who talks, that you will have to bring along with?
Well, I mean, he's got a. I mean, he was supposed to get a contract last year. The Patriots didn't give it to him. He was basically playing on a 1-year deal this year anyway. He's up again this year. I mean,
Is this going to affect it?
I play with Wes. I played against him. I played with him. He's just not as sure-handed as he once was. He's dropped some big passes here, and that's not going to go, without being noticed. So he'll get re-signed. I mean, he's going to definitely have to put a cork on his mouth. I mean, on his wife's mouth. But
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Take care of home. Make sure your wives are not out there, publicly putting you on blast. But
That's
who
what
knows
happened.
what's going on. She might wear the pants in the house, so who knows?
Unfortunately, there's probably a lot of that going on. Let's
Yes.
take it to the field yesterday, Nate. We did our picks last week, and we're gonna ask you to kind of give us your idea on the Super Bowl, even though we're gonna do our Super Bowl picks next week. But let's take the San Francisco 49er game first. Big Rube had Atlanta. Carlton Banks and I both had San Francisco. So far we're 1-0 and he's 0-1 for yesterday. But I'll be honest with you, my heart was with Atlanta. I'm a Giants fan. I was in the building when they beat our asses. I was there, and it didn't feel that good. However, I never really drank the Atlanta Kool-Aid. They seemed to me like a great team against okay teams. They ran through that division. Now, they almost pulled it out yesterday, so I don't want to be too disparaging against them. And I was actually rooting for them because the 49ers fans are, after laying dormant for the last decade or so, they have become –
Yeah, it's been a while.
yeah, but they've become quite obnoxious. So, after having watched the game yesterday, what's your thoughts, man?
I mean, Atlanta is who they are. I mean, that's just how, from playing in the league, that's just the reputation Atlanta has. They're a team that has proven to, they're not battle hardened. I have a thing against dome teams, man. I just don't think they're tough, man. And I mean, I don't know what it is, but Atlanta hasn't gotten over that curse. They finally won a playoff game. I kind of thought San Fran was going to beat them. So, it is what it is until they become a tougher team. I mean, that's just how they're looked at from a guy that's in the league. That's what people in the league think of Atlanta. They're a finesse team.
Well, let me ask you this.
Talented players, but they just,
You said something that made me kind of think of a follow-up question. You said something about domes because I said last week about Peyton Manning and how I had issues with him being clutch, and I kind of got a little opposition from the crew here. Being a Giants fan, of course, I watch every single Eli Manning game, and if it was up to me to choose which one, I would choose Eli. That's just me. But we know that Peyton played a lot of those games in the dome, and now he goes out to the Denver Broncos, which you obviously are familiar with. So I don't want to make this about Peyton, but I do want to make this about your comment about the dome. What's the deal with the kind of the consensus around the players around the league with dome players?
It's a certain toughness that comes with being able to play outside in the conditions, man, week in and week out. And you may not feel it, but psychologically it definitely has an effect on you. And I mean, dome teams just have not been getting it done in the Fed. That's just my little Nate Jones theory from being in the league. I mean, you look at the teams that win the past couple of years, it's been cold weather, gritty, tough teams. Pittsburgh's, the New England. I mean, at the time, these cold weather. That's just what I feel. So Atlanta, again, dome teams are known for more of their finesse style. You look at Houston. Look at the Houston Texans,
right.
Another dome team. All right, these teams, that's just how they're built. They're finesse teams, and when it's time, they're just not battle hardened. And it's all psychological, but it makes a difference.
Right.
Do you think we're gonna see Tony Gonzalez next year?
Nah, he's not. Yeah, I could hear it in his voice. He's done.
You think he's done, Grizz?
Yeah, that's a good. I was gonna go on that. Hey Nate, what's going on? Jay Grizz here, man. The question I have is the Baltimore Ravens with Ray Lewis announcing that this would be his last season. I mean, you being in the league, Have you ever played with anyone knowing that that was going to be their last game, and does that give either you as a player or the team as a whole a motivation to get that win for the player that's retiring, or you just go out there and play the game the best of your ability?
Yeah, we just go out and play. I mean, the Baltimore is definitely rallying around Ray, and this is, you're definitely watching history right now. This has not been seen in my lifetime. So the way these guys are rallying around this one player like this, obviously first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to go down in the record books, but he definitely has that team playing on another level. I've never been in the locker room with him. I never actually got a chance to meet him. I know Ray Rice. I know some of the other guys, but I don't know Ray Lewis. But he's got those boys playing. They rally around him. They believe in him. They got something going on there in Baltimore, and they're winning. They're on the road winning. So, I mean, it's going to be tough to beat them right now. I mean, this is going to be a good Super Bowl. I mean, I didn't predict this. I thought I actually had Green Bay out the NFC, and I actually had New England out the AFC, so I was way off.
Damn, you had it all messed up, didn't you?
I was way off. I actually thought New England was going to do it, but I was way off. So that shows how much I know, and I play the game.
Cool. One more question with this Atlanta game and Tony Gonzalez. Do you think that Atlanta would still be playing right now if Tony Gonzalez had done the same thing that Ray Lewis did?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I mean,
different characters. I mean, I don't think Tony is just as outspoken and as a motivator, just how Ray is. So even if he would have made a spectacle of it, I don't think it would have changed the outcome. I really don't. I think Ray's situation up there in Baltimore is very unique, and specifically because he's played there his whole career. Tony just got there a couple of years ago, whatever. So I don't know. I don't think it would have been the same. Would have had the same effect.
Cool.
Let's talk about what went on the field yesterday with New England and Baltimore. I had Baltimore in this game. Actually, I'm looking at the list here, Nate. We all had Baltimore in this game, which is somewhat surprising the way New England has kind of run through the AFC this season. Yeah. For us to all kind of go against them and take Baltimore. For me, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't so much about Ray Lewis because – frankly, I don't feed into the guys retiring, let's all rally around him thing. I'm more along the lines of you play the game, you're going to play how you going to play. The last guy at the end of the bench isn't going to play that much better just because the first guy at the end of the bench is retiring, ain't going to play no more. That's just how I see it. But New England scored 13 points, and particularly in the fourth quarter, your man Tom Brady ain't looked too good. Did you see anything, Nate, in that game, whether it be on the Baltimore side or the New England side, that surprised you? I mean, first of all, before you answer that question, the fact that Joe Flacco got 28 points kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I saw. It brought back eerie thoughts of last year when we lost the Super Bowl. And all I can think about is I imagine that the Patriots probably outthunk themselves this game. I'm pretty sure Belichick probably worked the hell out of them this week. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure they just went above and beyond. I mean, when last year my thoughts was that we lost to the Giants, I thought that we outcoached ourselves. I thought we lost the game rather than just getting beat. That was just my opinion of being on that team. But I saw the same type of things happen yesterday that I saw happen in the Super Bowl last year. So, again, it's one of those things where they're kicking themselves in the butt because, everything that's worked so well for them kind of came back to haunt them. Everything kind of went wrong. And I knew if it was one team New England didn't want to see, it was going to be Baltimore. That was the only team I thought would give them an issue. I still thought they would edge it out, but I knew Baltimore would give them a problem. And at the end, it was just too much for them. And like you said, Flacco, I don't know where this guy's coming from.
Flacco's a beast, really.
Jay Grizzly's got a question for you. Jay Grizzly's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and he is not a fan of Joe Flacco in Baltimore.
Nobody. I mean, even Ray Lewis. No, we split with him. But here's my question to you, being a DB, and watching the game yesterday. Anquan Bolden came up big. In a lot of spots.
Was it two touchdowns?
Two touchdowns in the red zone, and Torrey Smith. He caught some passes over the middle, clutch. I don't know if you've played against these particular players or whatever, but just speak to Anquan Bolden as far as from Arizona now to Baltimore, what he contributes to that team, and even Torrey Smith, how that helps Joe Flacco, because I think Joe Flacco is at best mid card quarterback in the.
No, I
in the
agree.
NFL.
I agree with you, Nate. I'm gonna let you get that.
But those receivers help him out a lot.
We had a
a
listener who called us last week that told us, or 2 weeks ago, that said that Joe Flacco was a top 10 quarterback. I ain't seen it, but hey, he had a good day yesterday. Nate, what's your thoughts, man?
Joe Flacco has a strong arm. He has a very strong arm. He is definitely benefiting from what's around him, what's going on. Really good defense. I mean, last time the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl, Trent Dilfer was their quarterback, and he didn't do much either. So, Flacco's maybe a little better than Dilfer, but Torrey, those guys around him are coming on. Anquan Bolden has some of the strongest, surest hands you're ever going to find. I worked out with him down in Florida. He's a beast. Torrey Smith's super fast. I mean, once they just let New England's weakness has always been the secondary. When I was there, it is what it was. It's just what it, so once they let Flacco go and just start throwing it, they started exposing.
Exactly.
The lead went down. I know they're pissed at him for that. That was a big game. They needed him. Other guys had to start playing. I know that guy that was covering Anquan, and he doesn't even play much. So, I mean, it kind of fell into Baltimore's hands, and those guys just made more plays.
The crew started laughing when you said it was like that when you was there.
Man, it's always been like that. No offense. No offense.
And here's the thing, Belichick
the pressure was always on the secondary. It's always been the Achilles heel, and even when I signed there, I walked into a bee's nest. I mean, I didn't know it was that crazy up there when it comes down to the secondary, because that's where all the pressure goes, and it just has not happened since Rodney Harrison, whoever the heck they had.
Oh yeah, Rodney Harrison.
Together, so.
And here's my thing with Belichick, especially now, if you really look back at New England since the last time they won a Super Bowl, which was 04? 04 or 05 against Donovan.
405, yeah.
Right. So Belichick and them have regressed, so to speak. I mean, they're a top team in the AFC, but they get bounced out. I mean, it's good they're a contending playoff team each year, but it's like they're on the downside. And what shocked me yesterday is Brady didn't look like Brady. I don't know, it was the OC not calling something or the players just not coming through. But he's Belichick, a defensive coach.
But that's a good point.
Why doesn't he focus on defense instead of just handing? You can't. Tom Brady is not going to give you Joe Montana Super Bowls all the time.
But there are some people that are saying that since Spygate they haven't won.
Exactly.
Big Rube.
I don't know what the big
Look, man. I know when to call a pig and a spade a spade, and a piece of roach a piece of roach. Look, man, give Baltimore that credit. They scored 28 points.
I can't do that.
I mean, that's fine for you. It is what it is. But they scored 28 points on a team. Usually it's 28-42. But they only scored. They allowed them to score. They only scored 13 points. The defense was immaculate yesterday. You can say it's because of Ray Lewis. You can say whatever. But real talk, like I think Nate said, the only team in the playoffs who could have gone after them and really made them work hard is the Baltimore Ravens, because their defense is that good. They're good at all levels. And you can't I'm kind of getting annoyed by the fact that the crew is basically saying that, Baltimore is terrible, and they're really not. During the season they had some question marks going on, but a lot of the question marks came when Ray Lewis wasn't there.
What you getting involved for? You ain't on the team.
I mean, but you gotta give credit what credit is due. They basically outplayed Tom Brady.
Yeah, and he looked poor in the second half, particularly in the fourth quarter. He looked poor. I want to transition and get some Super Bowl talk in here, Nate. You were there last year. What are the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens feeling this morning? The first day after having won their conference championships, they had a chance to sleep on the fact that they are, in fact, playing in the Super Bowl in about 2 weeks. What's going on with them right now?
It's a calm right now. It's a calm. They got all the adrenaline out. I mean, it's all done. I mean, they might have partied a little bit. It's a real calm, probably on both teams. Reality has set in with what they're about to do. Biggest game of most of those guys' lives. You got two brothers coaching in the Super Bowl. It's going to be one for the ages. Just what's going to be built. The storylines around this with Ray, brothers coaching in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's going to be one for the ages.
Kaepernick.
And these 2 weeks, it's gonna be it's an amazing time, man. The amount of media attention and gifts, and I mean, it's hard to it's hard to sleep at night. It's hard to stay focused because you still got to practice and get ready for a game. But there's so much going on. New Orleans is gonna be crazy. I mean, I was in Indianapolis last year. Indianapolis did a good job, but Indianapolis is not New Orleans. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot going on. Amazing experience, one I'll never forget. And, you know, most guys don't ever see it. So I'm blessed to have had that opportunity. But those guys right now, I mean, they're on cloud nine, but they're just chilling right now because they know it's about to be the game of their lives.
So now is the calm. At what point does it get to the point like, oh, we about to be in the Super Bowl, yo, for real?
About Thursday next week.
Okay.
Thursday next week. Right now, it's all the logistics. They're going through all the travel crap. They got to go through all. Which one of your family? I mean, New England did a good thing. They had a whole chartered flight for all the family members. So I put my parents on there. I put a few of my cousins on there. Free hotel. I mean, they got to go through all that. They got to do all that before they even get there. So all that has to happen right now. How we get to New Orleans? Who's coming? Your mom, dad, cousin, your best friend from preschool back then. You know, all of them gonna come out the woodwork. So you got to get all that together. So that's all going to happen in the next couple of days. But next week around Thursday, yeah, it starts to get real hard to sleep.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So let's take it to the field. We got, and we're not going to give our picks, but we're going to ask you if you've got one. Feel free to give it. If you're not ready, that's fine as well. But if you can kind of tell us what you see between San Francisco and Baltimore coming up in the Harbaugh Bowl.
Hard I want to pick, man. Really, two really good defenses. San Francisco has a really good defense too. Cannot forget about them. They got a quarterback there that's playing pretty well. Brothers, I don't know which one is smarter than the other. They both gonna come up with game plan. I think at the end, I'm gonna get an edge. I'm gonna get an edge to Baltimore in the end. It's because they're a more seasoned veteran team. But I mean, that's just my pick. I've been doing bad so far.
Yeah, I don't know how the fans of Baltimore feeling about Nate Jones picking a team to win right now. Hey, listen, Nate, how you feel about the quarterback they got out there in the Bay, San Francisco? We got Colin Kaepernick taking over for Alex Smith, and let me kind of reframe the question. You know, to use an old baseball reference, Alex Smith got Wally pipped, meaning he kind of lost his job after having an injury. He came back, he was healthy, but he lost his job essentially, and now we look at Colin Kaepernick, who could potentially be the future of that team out there in San Francisco. What's your thoughts when you see a kid go for 181 yards from the quarterback position?
I mean, he kind of made me a believer. I was sleeping on him for a while. I mean, I didn't know if it was real or not. He's another one, definitely doing well. He definitely benefits from having a talented team around him for sure. But, I mean, I love his story. I love what he came from. You know, I love what he represents. He's not your average quarterback. The kid got tattoos everywhere, got a little swag, wears his hat backwards. You know, he's not Tom Brady. He's not Peyton Manning. So, I mean, I like what's going on out there. The energy on that team is real. Both the Harbaughs, you can tell they kind of got the teams both playing the same kind of way, man. So, those guys are doing. I think it starts there. They're doing a great job. But I think Kaepernick will be there around for a while. Alex Smith probably won't. And like you said, that's the NFL, man. You know, you get hurt and the next guy comes up and plays, man. That's a tough pill to swallow. But I think that's real life, and a lesson Alex Smith will never forget. But Colin Kaepernick will be there for a while. And him and Russell Wilson are both running around up there on the West Coast. So there'll be some good games in the next coming years.
Now, let me ask you this, and this is not so much a Super Bowl-related question, but more of an offensive standpoint. Last week we had somebody mention that the spread option is the reason why Kaepernick is doing so well. Do you think the spread option is something we're going to see for 2-3 more seasons longer than we did the Wildcat, or is it just like the Wildcat, a fad for right now until we get a good defensive coordinator who can stop it?
Just like the Wildcat, it won't be around long.
Okay.
It won't be around long. That's just the NFL. It's how something new comes up. Some little wily college coach comes in, throws a wrinkle in. Messes everybody up for a year. You give defensive coaches in the NFL a year to study something like that, it'll be done.
Now, I'll say that to lead into this. You see the progression and the progress, or the production, I'm sorry, not the progress and the production. Yeah, I said it right. Of an RG3, a Colin Kaepernick, a Russell Wilson. Do you think they have a chance in 2 years?
If they can stay healthy. I mean, this RG3. I said that a long time ago. Somebody asked me, who do you take RG3? I said, man, only thing with running quarterbacks is they got to stay healthy, man. Somebody said it. You see a lot of great young running quarterbacks, but you don't see a lot of great old running quarterbacks. I mean,
Right.
They don't ever make it. But in this league, I think Wilson may stick around long longer. Kaepernick, he kind of has he knows how to get out of bounds and slide a little bit. He makes a little more plays in the air, but we'll see. 2 years, it'll be tough. I think Wilson may still be there. Colin may have leveled out a little bit.
Now, I guess last question before we let you go, Nate. We keep talking about Ray Lewis and the fact that this is his last game regardless. Are we thinking the same about the other the safety for Baltimore Ravens?
Ed Reed.
Oh, Ed Reed, yeah. Has he come out and said anything? I don't.
He
know.
hasn't, but that dude's almost another 16-year vet.
Boy's old, man. You're right. I mean, Ed has a lot of injuries under his belt, man. I think, in my heart of hearts, if they do win this thing in 2 weeks, you probably would bow, wouldn't you? I mean, you've had a great career, 15, 16 years. Your boy's retiring, and you win a Super Bowl. I think it'll send him on his way. Definitely.
Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Nate, we want to thank you for joining us. It looks like you got the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to do our picks next week.
I'm going to text you next week, man, in case I change my mind.
What's this change?
Hey, look.
Hey,
Change my mind? I can change my
No,
mind.
you can. Look, you can change your mind up until we make our picks next week. How about that?
Okay, that's fair.
Is that fair?
My
All right.
early pick is Baltimore. Let me sit on that a little bit.
Early pick is Baltimore. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. That was Nate Jones. Nate, thank you for joining us, man. We
Always,
appreciate
man.
anytime. Absolutely, anytime that you're available, you're always welcome. Whether we talking about football, if you just want to shoot the breeze with the crew, we talk about all kinds of stuff. It ain't just on sports. So we about to go into the next hour, the socially conscious and entertainment hour. We're gonna talk about inauguration, Martin Luther King's legacy, and all that kind of stuff. So
Obama, MLK Day, everything.
absolutely. So turn on your computer and keep it locked, bruh.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night, man.
You
You
got it,
too.
bruh. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. We're gonna take our break. When we come back, we got a missing child. We got the socially conscious and entertainment hour. We about to get it in. Marcus J. and I step and be back in a minute.
Yo, this is man Sid G from Chattown, Tennessee, and every Monday between 7 and 9, I'm hanging with your main man Marcus J. and the rest of the Ain't No Half Steppin' crew. Be easy.